second. All right, and share my screen. Fabulous. Okay. Welcome to our first accelerator program call. I'm very, very excited to kick this program off with you all. I know we had the opportunity to chat and meet on site in each of your communities and businesses. But we're going to be kind of working throughout the course of the year to, make sure you're acclimated to the platform, kind of discuss some business building opportunities, some marketing opportunities. And so everything that we kind of introduced today will also, it's a key theme that's going to roll throughout the next 12 months of us collaborating and working together. So just as kind of a general reminder, since it's been a few sleeps since we had the opportunity to chat, what we are working towards building is really a digital ecosystem, an ecosystem for your business to participate in, for customers to collaborate, to engage, to, enjoy commerce opportunities with you directly, but at the business level, at the community level, at the state level, and at the national level, and trying to build all these networks of, connection points, right, between small businesses and customers, really kind of taking that shop local, campaign that was started by MX about 10, 15 years ago, and really kind of giving a practical application to it in an online setting. So that's kind of the mission and the goal, right, of what we're trying to do is create this ecosystem. I may go ahead and mute some microphones just so we don't get any feedback. So sorry if you see that notification pop up. But that's really the mission, right? Create and build a digital ecosystem that supports small businesses, that gives a space for us to hang out online, and an opportunity for customers as a destination point to search and discover and shop and gift. And, in doing that, we hope it can bring additional, points of delight to consumer interactions with small business, provide elevated technology tools that might not otherwise be available, give a network to plug into that can be a support resource, as well as operational tools that really do help impact and drive revenue and successful economic impact. And so that is really, this is going to be embodied through the Shop Local Marketplace, and that is WeShopSC.com. So you guys are early adopters, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have you as a part of the initial kind of cohort that's going to be working through and helping set the way for all the small businesses in South Carolina to kind of join you alongside you. So we hope that you will want to step into kind of this leadership role within your own communities, as well as at the general platform level, and maybe be a resource to other small businesses, be encouragement to others, as well as cheerleaders and champions for your own space in partnership with WeShop. So with that, just to kind of give some faces to who you're going to be engaging with on the screen, well, you can see Jonathan. He's with us. Jonathan, do you want to go ahead and come off mute and introduce yourself to everybody really quickly?
Sure. So I'm Jonathan Irick. I'm the new staff associate for Main Street, South Carolina, working with Jenny, and so excited about you guys being involved and being the e-commerce group and involved with WeShop. We're excited about the platform, excited about the future for it. And I think Kate will talk a little bit later about some of the new things we've got going. It's just some of our recent discussions here with the MASC team. So we're excited about it and glad to have you all here today.
Awesome. And not with us, but you may remember meeting Jenny on site during our ARC initial tour. So Jenny is the state coordinator And you'll be hearing from her periodically throughout the year about the program and about just general We Shop initiatives and ways that the platform is going to be supportive for your business. And then Kaylin is also on Main Street team, and she assists both Jonathan and Jenny. So there could be moments where you're receiving communications from Kaylin as well, or support resources and things like that. So make sure to earmark these emails and names in your inboxes so that nothing does get lost in case communication should come from the Mask team. And then we are Beyond Main. So our team members are here on the call with us today. So you heard from Dana and Jeremy a little bit earlier, and myself. Be sure to kind of earmark our emails as well. We know sometimes things can get like routed to spam or promotions folders, and we want to make sure that there's a good communication line regarding the program details, playbacks, all the things that you might need. So if you can, add us to your VIP list so that you're sure to get all of the needed communications as we move throughout the program. All right, so the general flow of all these calls, I always just kind of like to start off by like setting expectations. Like, what are we in for here? We are going to gather on a monthly basis, with obviously this being our first month together, with the exception of, we know December is a very, very tough time and you are pulled in a million different directions. Not that you're not during the rest of the year, but especially during the holiday season. And so today we're going to be kicking off, our call and following up with an activity that you will have, time to execute throughout the month of December. And then we're going to pick back up our calls the first Wednesday of each month at 9 a.m. We'll convene here on Zoom just as we've done today. Oh, we got more guests. Okay, great. We'll convene here every Wednesday, the first Wednesday, of every month. Beginning in January, and that will run through about this time next year. So we're going to get the opportunity to kind of kick off an activity for the holiday season now, and then we'll be working together throughout the year on different sort of topic and focus areas and diving into not just the platform, but also your business as a whole and kind of how it's going to impact the other areas of your business or other areas you might want to improve and work upon, gain insights, strategies, things like that. The typical kind of organizers of the call will be Beyond Main and the Municipal Association, but we will have guest speakers joining us, and they're subject matter experts on things like profitability and pricing for your business. Also subject matter experts, say that 10 times fast, on store experience or visual design. There's a number of different topics we're gonna touch, and we're gonna be bringing in some of our kind of trusted network to share their knowledge and wisdom and best practices with you all. So monthly workshops, you can kind of hold that on your calendar. The process for signing up will be those registration links that you did quite successfully today. So good job, you're all here. So it'll be the same process, and you can actually sign up for kind of a slot of them at one time and get them reserved on your calendar. I think at least for the next 6 months. And then as we move into next year, you'll be able to reserve the next 6 months. We just ask that if you cannot attend, if you are one of the grant recipients for the Full Commerce program, if you cannot attend a live session, please just notify our team and let us know that you will not be attending live, but you intend to listen to the playback, just so we can kind of make sure that your attendance is accurately accounted for. It is a requirement to participate for the ARC grant Full Commerce sponsorship. So each month we're going to gather, we're going to discuss different business building topics, specifically relating back to how do I implement unified commerce for my business. And then there will be an activity or a challenge that will be presented to you that you'll have pretty much the next 3 weeks until we gather again to work on. And, at any point throughout that month or activity, if you have questions or need additional support, our team is here to kind of help you in thinking through how to most effectively, complete that for your business. And then finally, at the end of each call, we'll also have time for Q&A and open discussion. So, feel free to bounce questions off of your peers, off of our team, and just kind of get any general questions about what you've heard, the content that you've heard that day, or previous content that's been presented. That's our time to discuss it. So that will be the flow of our kind of agenda each month when we gather. And so this might look familiar to you. It was presented or attached in the guide for the registration brochure, but I just kind of wanted to discuss some of the areas that we're going to be focusing on. So today, we're going to just sort of lay the foundation of like, what is unified commerce? What is this concept, and how am I going to think about it as I move throughout the year? We're going to touch on things like, how do you craft a brand experience, and what does that mean in store and online, and how do they need to work complement each other, and maybe where are they different, and you need to kind of think through some of those different approaches to create a really streamlined experience. We're going to touch on things like business model, because when you implement unified commerce, it usually typically means you're also implementing another sales channel or another revenue opportunity for your business. So we're going to dive into business model, strategy, and where you have leverage points. We're going to talk about competitive advantage. So some of these things are really back to the basics. And now that you have these new tools and resources, how does that improve your competitive advantage, and where can you, really maximize these new opportunities? We're going to talk about pricing and profitability. Is your pricing strategy working for you, or is there opportunity to improve your margins? How are you looking at your assortments, or your product offerings for your business? Are there creative new ways to expand those, or new categories you want to implement? Maybe you even want to expand your footprint as a business. You're certainly doing that through a digital setting, but maybe there's also a physical application that is also on the horizon for you. We're going to talk a lot about marketing, and there's going to be a whole host of marketing opportunities that are going to be available to you through the program, specifically through the WeShop SC channels, social channels. There's going to be a lot of physical print opportunities, to brand your business as a part of the community within your downtown, and also for your storefront. So really excited to kind of enhance the marketing reach and capabilities through the accelerator program and through your participation in WeShop. And then general e-commerce, best practices. We have sort of the benefit of being able to share with you a lot of the learnings that we've been able to gather over the last decade, and more, actually, even in our previous work experience supporting large brands, and how they adopted a digital kind of first mentality and built e-commerce channels for large brands. And so we want to save you a lot of time and a lot of money, and kind of share some of those like really quick ways you can implement e-commerce, but also start off in a very kind of like 10 steps ahead, right? And not have to go through that big learning curve that we all experienced for the last 20 years. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about just like entrepreneurship in general, and, well-being and work-life balance. I know that's probably giving everybody a little bit of a chuckle, but I think it's really important, the mindset that we bring to our work each day. And, there are strategies that are helpful for dealing with stressful seasons, and just, seeing opportunity as opposed to constant frustration and challenge. And so we'll talk about, some ways that you can implement well-being and business balance into your entrepreneurial journey, and how that can sustain you and keep you going and keep you on a growth mindset path. As we move throughout the year, I think one of the most exciting things is you're going to have a lot of new data that's going to be presented to you, and that in alone will drive different decisions you're going to make about your business. So we're going to talk about, how does all this new data, whether it's at a WeShop level, at a national platform level, or your store level, how is it going to impact the decisions you make, the initiatives you implement, the areas that you invest in, with all of these kind of changes that are now beginning for your business through the e-commerce platform. And then, we're going to kind of go back to just sort of solidifying. All right, we've implemented all these amazing changes. We are seeing success. We're using our data. And now how is that going to kind of like recycle through, how I look at my sales channels, my marketing channels, all of the new technology that I've been implementing and using. How am I going to use that to continue my path for sustained growth and scalability? So that's kind of how we're going to end our program, and kind of looking back at this first half of, the year, well, I guess our year together, but it's really like the Q4. But when we get to next season, looking at how last season, or next year's season is going to be comparative to this year's season, and just look at all the growth that's achieved, that you've been able to achieve. So we're going to spend kind of the last part of our time together in looking backwards to kind of evaluate how far have we come, and then also set your plans for your continued growth as you move into out of the program, graduate out of the program, and continue your work independently. So with that, what is unified commerce? Sometimes often also referred to as omni-channel commerce. There's a lot of terms that are floating around there, but essentially what it means, or all that it really means, is that you are taking a seamless approach to retail and looking at an online and an offline kind of channel offering. So how are all of these touch points, how are all of these ways that customers can interact with you? How do they work together? How can they be seamless? How can they be streamlined? How can you best create an interconnected shopping experience? Because data has consistently shown us that consumer behavior really depends on having that unified, or positive consumer behavior really depends on having that capability for a customer. And one of the founding reasons why our platform was even developed and created was out of this kind of essential need. What we discovered in working with the small business sector was that you were kind of removed from the decision-making process of consumers because of a lack of access in an online capacity, whether that was search just to understand more about a business, not even showing up, online as an option, understanding kind of just basic ways to interact. And so, Beyond really kind of set out in the early days to just create the space for that to become a part of the journey again for consumers. And so, unified commerce, when we talk about it in terms of our platform or any, online platform you might participate in, that's really what we're kind of the core issue we're looking to solve, is just how is your business showing up and interacting with the world, and how are you discovered? How are you found? How are you creating seamless experiences? And so we'll also kind of talk about like, how do you evaluate things, right? I think that's one of the number one questions we get as a team is, how can I evaluate unified commerce opportunities for my business? Like, what's important to focus on, maybe what's less important to focus on. And so we're gonna dive into that throughout the year, and how you evaluate technology systems, where you really want to think about creating strong connection points, maybe where one is nice to have but not a necessity to have, and kind of like thinking through those evaluation perspectives. And then how are you creating feedback loops, which is a really important theme for like, how do you evaluate if this is working? The changes that you've made, are they working? What are those feedback loops that are available to you through the new processes or the new systems you're implementing? And then I think the big one is like, how does this affect my operations too, right? So it's great to have a number of tools and resources at your disposal, but if it's impossible to maintain them, if it's impossible to effectively operate them or sustain them, it doesn't really do you much good in the end, right? So thinking about in advance, how, if I'm implementing new systems, new processes, new omni-channel experiences, how am I also going to maintain them? And just knowing that plan up front, or at least a basis of a working plan, even if it needs to be modified in execution, just how is this going to work? How can I effectively maintain my new approaches? And then, overall, how am I going to build my additional strategies like around them? So these are, this is a little bit of just an introduction as to like what is unified commerce, what are kind of we talking about here, and then the different things that we're going to be kind of coming back to, the questions that we're going to be coming back to, and how we answer them throughout the year through our different sessions we'll have together. All right, Jeremy, you want to talk a little bit about holiday and strategies for this season?
A little bit. I want to talk a lot of it. First off, we got a lot of folks that don't have their camera on. They don't have their. I hope you're listening. I hope you're with me. I'm going to be calling on you through the process. Just to let you know, I want to make sure you're here with us. Is Jonathan? I'm scanning down my thing. Is Jonathan still there? Jonathan, you still out there? Maybe you had to bail.
I am still here. No, I'm still here.
Oh, he's here.
Listen. Excellent. Great to have you guys. Listen, this is the easiest of all seasons to get excited about doing what you're doing, and that is selling stuff, right? Because for the most part, anything you're going to sell, somebody might want to give for Christmas. And we've built in over the history, you go back, Kate and I were discussing it yesterday when I had 20 years at Macy's in my career. And back in the 1800s, the late 1800s, Macy's had end of year clearance sales. And they simply weren't driving enough traffic and selling. So they brought Santa Claus and put him in the store and created a gifting season. And obviously there's holiday aspect, there's tradition aspect that goes back a very long way, but they supersized it, as we like to do in America. And they brought Santa in, and the certain traditions that we all know and love, they began. So there's a lot of interwoven experience between shopping and the holidays. So it's very much in the DNA. So now what we want to look at, and what I want to give you kind of a high level view on, as you've now opened up this new, Kate spoke of it before, this new storefront, right? You are now online. So now does that mean I need to have all my products there? No, in the same way that you in your store have certain products in the window and certain products on the back wall. Certain products, because of the amount of money you've spent in the depth of assortment, right? You bought a lot of that stuff. So we got to sell a lot of that stuff because we don't want that left over. So that's likely we made those creative choices, and those are going to show up in the front window. The same way is going to work online, right? We want to show off those products. Dana, you gave everybody in this crew everybody got a light box, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Beautiful. This is where we go to work with the light box. I want you to choose your 5 best products, and I want you to shoot the heck out of them. I also want you to get creative, because you may have 2 great products that you bought in depth. You may put them together. Dana will allow it. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But I hope she'll allow this craziness of put 2 products in the light box and then put them up for sale on your website together, maybe even at a value. Oh, Kuana didn't get hers. We got to get hers.
We're on it.
Thank you, Kuana, right? Again, creative things that we can do to jumpstart the selling process, right? And to show off the investments we've made as small business owners for holiday. So let's talk about the calendar first. Kate, thank you so much for putting the calendar in here. We're in a challenging time. Joseph didn't get one either. We'll get it. We'll get it to you. Dan will take all the notes here, but on who has them and who doesn't. But challenging time, right? When I talk to my friends in the retail world on the growing categories of the 26 major categories out there in retail, from small electrics to auto to cosmetics to apparel, all those big, only beauty is growing in units and in dollars. everything else is coming off, right? That to me says, and to a lot of folks says, inflation is hitting us hard. We, the customer, because we get to play, the beauty of this is we get to play both sides. We, the customer, are making more refined decisions. We're looking at that and getting a little bit of sticker shock and saying, wait a second, I don't want to pay that much for that. So I'm still going to buy stuff. If I go to my wife and I don't buy her a present, I'm going to be in deep doo-doo, right? That's going to be bad. Now, I might not get her 3 things. I might get her 2 things. I might not pay $50 each. I might pay $40 for 3 things, right? I'm now going to make more refined choices, which goes back to the creativity and the refinement we need to have when we put things together for the shop, right? So, but in tough times, we lean on very interesting, luck plays a little bit of a role. And in tough years, which this might be a tough year, this is as good a calendar as you're going to get. And let me walk you through the holiday season real quick. Okay. Obviously, look, big business starts with Black Friday. Yeah, we'll play in Black Friday, but small business, thank you, American Express, really kicks off in Small Business Saturday, right? So you want to have those key items that you have out that you've been doing year in and year out. That great presentation at the front of the store, I want to see that online as well, right? I want to be able to go on my phone, go to WeShop SC, go to your store, see, wow, that's what they stand for in that value key item moment that is Black Friday, right? We're not going out on Black Friday and buying furniture. We're not buying, big ticket items per se. We're buying $9.99, what was my favorite? The waffle maker, right? Those great deals that doorbusters that just, oh my God, if I don't go right now, right? TVs are the biggest sellers, right? Why? Because the price is high and it comes dramatically down for Black Friday. So it's a big deal. And you see it in all the advertising, right? So then you're gonna go straight into, from Small Business Saturday, right around the corner, into a brand new event for you guys, which is Cyber Monday and into Cyber Week. So that week of the 27th, really it begins, 26th, 27th. Listen, Black Friday has really morphed from a 1-2 day, right? It used to be Friday, Saturday. For a hot minute there, we started opening up stores on Thanksgiving. If anything good came out of COVID, we stopped that silliness, right? And then you go back to something that started in the late 1990s when we were dialing up to our internet at home with, and Kate, I apologize, I'm going to use a little onomatopoeia here, right? If we remember, Jackie, I don't know if you remember this, logging onto your computer in 1998 going, right? Not good sounds. That was that modem hooking up, and that meant you were going to get slow internet and you were not going to be able to shop. So then you went to work on Monday, and while the boss was looking the other way, you went into your T1 line on the corporate, network, and you bought a lot of stuff for holiday, right? Obviously, we're blessed that with all the various technologies we have, that kind of has flowed away, and that has morphed into a beautiful 1 week long in-store and online event. That online event is something for you to play in. So again, if you have specials, have a little bit of a different special for Cyber Monday, right? So now we're photographing for Small Business Saturday, then we're taking another photograph, so we're updating somewhere along the line there for Cyber Week, right? All the way through the 2nd. Then you get into standard December, right? People are doing their holiday shopping. You're out and about. You've got great items. You want to make sure that the items you have in depth are shown online. And if you're running low in the store, they're going to come down. You don't want someone buying bad shopping experiences. I saw it online. I went to purchase it. It's not available, right? That's a bad shopping experience. We want to have something else that's available. So as you shoot those 4, 5, 10 items, right, in your light box that Jonathan's going to make sure everybody gets, right? That's what I want you to be focused on. Hey, what are the things I'm going to have across time, and really chart it out week by week. Then this is where it gets super exciting for me. You know, certainly at Macy's in my time, like the holidays kick off, it's fanfare, there's a parade or sort, something in New York City, right? It's like, but it really doesn't kick into the last 10 days. The holy crap moment, I got to actually buy a gift, right? That's where local matters in a huge way, because I just came home from work or the kids are going crazy and I can't go out to wherever and Amazon doesn't have what I want. Where am I going? I want to go shop local, right? That's where, oh, now I go on the We Shop. Now I see what we have, right? So a couple key dates here. I'm going to peg the 20th of December, right smack dab in the middle of those last 10 days, as ostensibly the last shipping day. You weren't worried about those things before. You may have garnered some of the benefit of it on the back end, but that's the last shipping day that the big guys, Amazon, Walmart, all those guys, can guarantee that the product will get to you by Christmas, right? So now that avenue is shut off, and now we're into buy online, pick up in store, curbside, actually physically go to the store. That's where We Shop's gonna shine in a big way. And the biggest shopping day of the year will absolutely be December 23rd. The Saturday before Christmas, when Christmas is not the Sunday or the Saturday, or not longer deeper in the week when it's Thursday, right? When that Saturday before Christmas is in the shipping window, it's kind of tough for stores. It's not optimal. Here we have the Saturday before Christmas outside of the shipping window. I can't go online on that Saturday and expect something to be at my house by the next day. Too much stuff going on, right? Nobody's going to guarantee that. But I can go online, see something great at We Shop, and come into your store and pick it up. So that's where we want to have fresh, those final sales, whatever your pricing strategy is through the holiday season, you want to be focused on how am I going to make Small Business Saturday great? How am I going to make Cyber Week great? How am I going to make the last 10 days outstanding? And oh, baby, what am I going to do for December 23rd? Am I going to have an event? Am I going to serve coffee? Am I going to serve eggnog? Why should I get out of my house in New Jersey and drive 14 hours to the Arc region or to Fountain Inn and buy something from you guys, right? I'm stretching that a little bit, but you get my point, right? So that's what we're looking at. Again, I'm looking solely at the calendar. Now I'll come back to these strategies. Did we cover them? Okay, we talked about micro and macro. We talked about store positioning and messaging, right? What are those, how I choose those items, how I promote those items, what kind of things I bundle together to make them, a better deal for the customer and make them now drive average ticket. So if you're going to come in and buy one great product for me for $20, and I have two great products and they're each $20, and I offer you two of them for 38 or two of them for 36, something along those lines, and they look fabulous, in the photo box, online, and I merchandise them together in store. Hey, that's a great idea. Now they're walking out, they've given you $36 instead of 20, right? Right product, right place, right time. Key items we talked about, what are those items? It's different for everybody. I mean, we've got if you're a salon, it's got to be an experience. Experience plays so heavily into what we're trying to accomplish these days. Experience is a gift. It's experience as gifting has jumped like 500-600% over the last few years, because, hey, I got tired. My wife has a lot of mugs. I don't need to buy her another mug, but a massage. Now I'm getting husband points. That's what we call it up here in Jersey. We call it husband points, the most depreciable item there is. You do one thing wrong, you lose all your husband points, but you can earn husband points back with great gifts. Okay. And we talked about convenience.
You're not making points now.
Exactly. See, there we go. We got some truths. Okay, flip to the next page, Kate. I'm with we're run down. And first off, before we get to this piece, any questions? I'd love to take questions.
True. I'll just if there's anyone who does want to raise their hand and questions, but I just also want to echo what Jeremy said about, the environment we're in, for small businesses, where I really think, or where we've seen small businesses excel in these sort of like consumer pressed environments, is definitely on the curation side, on the experience side, on the value offering side. That doesn't mean discounting. So I think sometimes we confuse the two approaches. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to deeply discount. It just means how you think about presenting, positioning, and packaging up whatever it is you feel your business can excel at, whether that's a product, an experience, and just kind of being able to now even through your shop profile, present that to a customer for purchasing and understanding of their offer, of your offering, for how it'll affect, their maybe status, gifting status, or earn husband points, right, as Jeremy says, in their life. So kind of thinking about when you look at your storefront and these key dates and sort of the tools that are available to you through WeShop, kind of critically looking at all the factors, right? Convenience. So have you set up your buy online, pick up in store, curbside, local delivery if you want to offer local delivery? How are you making it convenient for people to shop with you, even up until that Sunday, Christmas Eve point, right? And then what are the experiences around that? Could you offer on-site gift wrapping or gift wrapping with local delivery? Like, what are those special things like that you could do to service those local customers, even at a last minute kind of need? And what special things are you curating that you think are the most desirable offerings for this season that would either be gifted or purchased, for a self-purchase? And then thinking about how that can also show up in your events or even testimonials area, thinking about what are those great testimonials you want to share through the platform, and then how can you make sure your events that are being offered throughout that time, that season window, how are they being accessible to customers through your events tab?
I would jump in, Kate. On top of that, I want to also, you and I talked about this yesterday. Oftentimes small business use the loss leader approach. Right? I have this great item. I bought it for $8 and I'm going to sell it for $5, or I'm going to sell it for $6 or something, to get people in the door in the hopes that they do something else, right? In this macro environment where she's choosing or he's choosing one or two items or maybe an item less, they may come in and just buy that item and walk out. No bueno. That doesn't work for us, right? Let's make pricing strategies. Listen, I'm not telling you not to make things, attractive to the customer from a pricing perspective, but also we've had an inflationary scale over the course of the last few years that it costs us more. It costs us more for the lights. It costs us more for everything. It costs us more for that product. So I caution you, the pricing strategy, and everybody knows their own markets and has to make their own decision, but those pricing strategies from 2018 may not play this year in particular because of that fact.
All right, Dana, do you want to talk about the challenge for the holiday season?
Sure. So at the end of each session, there will be some sort of challenge or activity, something to kind of implement everything we talked about during that session. So for this first one, we're going to kick it off with something simple, but this project there's a few different checkpoints. I think we set the deadline for November 22nd. So right before Thanksgiving, right before you get into the holiday time. We'll be sending out this checklist to everyone. So you guys have a few weeks to complete it, send it back to us. But I'll quickly go through it. So the first thing we kind of want you guys to think about is just what do you want to get out of this program? So you have the upcoming classes, you kind of have an idea of what we're going to be talking about. So write a list of, your business goals, your objective, specifically for commerce, right? Like what can We Shop do for your business? Second, we really want you to update your profile, right? Shoppers are shopping very early this year. So we want you to go through, get your store ready, highlight, like Kate mentioned, your offerings. If you do gift wrap, if you do in-store pickup, local delivery, get that stuff on your platform, on your profile, right? So people know, add your events, promotional activity. We have linked a few really cute templates that you can use for your product listing. So it's things like you can put a product with a big bow on it, utilize your light boxes. And then lastly is to get you guys leveraging social media. So if you don't already know, in the back end of your Beyond Maine, there's a resource center with a ton of great guides and templates you can use for social media. But we want to get you guys in the habit of letting shoppers know you're now online. So utilize social media this season. Let people know where they can find you. Let people know how they can shop with you. And that's kind of it for this first session. Like I had mentioned, we're going to send this out via email. And if you guys have any questions, need any feedback or help, kind of like, I'm not sure where to start, or want us to take a look at your profile and see if we have any feedback, you're more than welcome to reach out to any of us. But this is, I guess, the first challenge or activity.
Awesome. And then this might look familiar for those that we've had the opportunity to meet on site with. I know some of you on the call will be seeing you next week. So you will get this checklist as a handout when we're together. But for those that we've had the opportunity to meet with that are with us, please reference back to this resource list. There's a lot of really great tools that were kind of briefly discussed when we were together that we would encourage you to go back to now that we've regathered up, just to understand like all the great marketing assets that you can personalize and customize. There is a reminder if you kind of need a refresher on the Lightroom apps or Canva tutorials, are things that just kind of can enhance the visual imagery of what you're listing. So those resources are here as well as that post-session checklist. So just kind of like retouching base and say, have I done all of these things since we were together last time? And if I haven't, this is my opportunity to kind of complete that step. So this is a great kind of reminder to go back and dig out that paper, but we will send out the digital version of this. So if you need to reprint it, you can, along with the assignment holiday challenge for the next coming weeks, to kind of get us all prepared and ready to make this Next Shop Local season a really super successful one, as now the launching of We Shop is out there in the marketplace. All right, so we have kind of come to the end of our initial presentation for today and kind of content we wanted to go over with you all. I want to open it up now to kind of questions or thoughts on, either what we've discussed or even maybe since we've last met, questions that might have come up, and just kind of, be able to help you get started with the challenge and also move into a successful holiday season with your partnership on We Shop. So feel free to come off mute if you want to ask your question live, or you can even type it in the chat if you prefer, and we can read it out loud. Any questions from the group or audience? Nope. All right. So maybe we answer them all. That's awesome. Yes. A few things that are just gonna get coming down the pike. So we are excited. There's gonna be some new social channels that will be launching soon for We Shop specifically. And you will be getting some, potential ways that your business can participate and being promoted on those channels. So we will keep you up to date with kind of the progress that's made there. We do anticipate those will be launched in the next couple weeks. So right in time for the season. And we look forward to featuring your business and your community on those pages. And we'll have some like direct guidance on like different opportunities to participate. So just kind of know that that's coming. It's being developed right now. I know one of the top questions we heard was, how are people going to find the site? And so this is one key component on that marketing strategy, and others are being developed. We will also have a print shop that you will be able to order packing tape, branded packing tape, bag stuffers, stickers, door decals, signage, all the things, all the marketing assets that you might need to help promote and brand your business with the WeShop marketplace. So that's being developed as well, and will be communicated out once it's ready and live for you to place orders through. Okay, let's see how many merchants have joined. So right now we're about, I think over 400. I haven't looked at the latest numbers. There's businesses joining every day. I think we're a little over 450 potentially now in total participants joined across the state and continuing to grow. Will we be coming back to Gaffney area? We don't have current plans to be in Gaffney, but Jonathan maybe wants to take a note about the request to come back. The mask team might potentially be in Gaffney. I'm not sure of their schedule, but he can make a note about the request. And
yeah, I'll make a note for sure.
Okay, and I see some excited about the print shop. Yes, we are too. And that came actually, I think, Jackie, that was a request you had made. So we're really excited to be able to get that spun up really quickly. It was an excellent suggestion when we sat with you and then so looking forward to releasing those opportunities for marketing assets. Awesome, Karen.
Kate, if I could real quick, just remind you mentioned the marketing strategies, and Jenny has been meeting with our communications team and our directors at the Municipal Association, and they are going to be putting some money behind the marketing strategy. So you'll see more of that rolling out as they approve it. And we're excited about doing that. We're talking about videos, billboards, all kind of print material. So you'll start seeing WeShop marketed in targeted areas, hopefully really soon, as soon as they give us the green light.
Yeah, you guys, this is big time. And you are really at the infant early stages. And so we appreciate your partnership, your collaboration so much. And we want nothing more than for us to meet post the holiday, and WeShop has made an incredible difference in your business. And keep working towards driving, opportunities for you as a small business owner. So thank you so much. And please always share, your feedback along the way or thoughts, because I hope that even in the limited time we've been, working with you and collaborating with you, you've seen that we have taken a lot of that feedback and gone quickly into implementing it. And so that's going to keep happening. This is a space that is, designed and built for small businesses and for communities. And so we actively seek and feed your input and feedback. We may not be able to do everything right away, but we certainly are listening all the time. So thank you for kind of participating in this process with us, because that's what it's all about. All right, so I think we have about 5 minutes to spare. So are there any other final thoughts or questions before we kind of convene? I will send out the link. You guys can share it with, whoever you need to internally with your businesses to make sure they're informed and up to date. Again, make sure you earmark our names in your email inbox so that communications are flowing easily. We will send out a checklist and kind of the assignment update, so you know what is to be focused on for the next few weeks, since we won't be meeting together in December. We will reconvene in January after the holiday, but we want to make sure we're working on some initiatives now to kind of get you set up to maximize next year's opportunities, but see and realize some, activity over this holiday season.
I had a question, and I'm not sure it's specifically here, but do you have anybody for store design or redesign within the Main Street system? Or I know it's probably not WeShop, but again, or can put me in the right direction?
Absolutely. So are you talking about more inside your brick and mortar establishment?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish? I ran store design for Macy's for a few years. I'm just drilling down what you're really looking for.
I'm in a nutshell, to put 5,000 square feet into 4,000 square feet. I'm gonna eliminate some square footage and need to put that product into, which will change everything about the other side of the store.
Got it. Okay, it's certainly a project. You can do it a couple different ways. Let's set up some time offline. And we can have some discussions, and if we can support you in some way, great. If not, we can introduce you to some folks, certainly.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Feel free to reach out to me. Jeremy at beyondmain.com.
There. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Is that okay, Bob? Kate, is that okay?
More than okay. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And we will have a couple sessions later in the year. I don't know the urgency on it, Glenda, but we will have a couple sessions that might be able to also be helpful in thinking through like how to restructure. Maybe there's categories that are low hanging categories that might want to be eliminated or decreased in space or size and capacity. So there's different things that might also influence and help there. But Jeremy's going to be your go-to for store specific. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so wonderful first session. I'm so excited to kind of kick this off, and we look forward to gathering again in the new year in person. But in the meantime, you'll get some email communications from us, obviously the playback, as well as a list. So if you can, don't wait too long. Let's jump on board, make that holiday plan for the November and December, so that when we gather again in the new year, we can really talk about what happened, right? What did you see? What did you experience? Were you able to implement all the things you really wanted to implement for holiday? And kind of what were the initial results? And so that we can keep building on momentum and progress that's made. Alrighty. Fabulous. Okay, I'm gonna stop share and I'm going to stop recording, and I'm gonna say so long, everybody. Have a wonderful week.
Have a great day.
Bye, too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.
Bye.
Bye.